Hey guys, what's up? I don't have my cards today. I just wanted to talk for a minute. I'm at this beautiful cemetery where my dad's buried. I like to come over here and walk around sometimes. It's beautiful. I'm gonna post a video of the crystal grotto that I just did. It's a little treasure here in my hometown. Let me find a place to sit. Okay, so I've been having some big realizations the past few days, and so I don't have my little tripod. Let's see how I can sit. So basically, gosh, okay, I gotta find a good way to sit. So how are y'all feeling? First of all, because the energy is a bit crazy right now. I feel like there are lots of trickster spirits about, and I guess I wanted to come on to share some of the wisdom that I'm gaining through this time period right now. And the biggest thing is that from now on, when I do readings, I'm going to be speaking from my I am presence. My journey, and I'm not saying it's your journey or anybody else's journey, whoever's listening, but my journey has been about embodying my soul, embodying the light of my I am presence. And it's making so much sense now because I've never had much interest in astral travel and these, things that are having to do with like spirits, and even though my intuition is strong, even though I get messages from my grandma a lot and from my dad, those are spirits that I knew here. I know their energy and their essence. And so I guess I just want to caution anybody right now, especially that's playing around in the astral realms, in the fourth dimension, that there is some fuckery afoot. And, we as humans are very special, and what we focus on is what materializes. And so you have to remember that these spirits don't have bodies. They don't have the opportunity to be here as we do. And so at least what I'm coming to is that it's really important just to call on your own I am presence. The I am that I am. The God source creator that's in you. Because we all have it as humans. That's what distinguishes us from other sentient beings, other living beings on this earth, is that we have the spark of the creator in us. And not saying that animals don't feel and have feelings and that they can't communicate, because they definitely can, but they don't have the difference is that we can be the observer of our own experience. So it's beyond instinct, it's beyond emotions, it's the presence of us that exists outside of time and space that can observe this experience that we're having. I don't know if that makes any sense. But for me, since 2001, I'm now realizing my whole journey has been about embodying my solar consciousness. I had an experience in 2001 where I stared at the noonday sun. It was like it drew me, to it. And no eye damage, nothing. And it was, I don't know how long, it was a long time that I was directly staring at the sun, and all of that light and information and light codes were going into my being. and I've wondered if it was a walk-in experience. I don't know, I don't really know, but I do know that as I was coming out of it, I had the distinct feeling of time travel. I don't know how else to say it. And the way I know that is because, do you guys remember the show Quantum Leap? And how Al, the guy that would, take Sam through the different time periods, in my coming back to myself state, because it was a very intense experience, I thought I was Al, or I was like Al, I was one of those like time jumpers or whatever he was in that show. So, point being, it's taken 23 years, I think, to unpack the amount of light codes that came in to my consciousness directly from the sun. And so, I've been drawn to this whole YouTube spiritual community and tarot and all of that, really as part of my lifelong search for understanding, for self-understanding, because I've always known I was very different. And a big thing that drew me in was, this whole twin flame idea, because I became aware of it in 2016 when I ran into somebody that I knew in high school, and the feeling I had was something I could not explain or understand. And so I just did a simple Google search. I can't even remember what I typed in, but that sort of sucked me into this whole world. And it's really now making me reflect on how much time has been spent with these dangling carrots that, I guess what I'm trying to say is that the spiritual community in a lot of ways has been hijacked and infiltrated, and not even that any individual specifically are consciously, I don't know of any that are I feel are consciously working for the dark forces, the nefarious forces. But the infiltration, I'm now realizing, can come through these spirits, because, the adversary can give gifts too, right? He's the author of lies. He's the author of confusion. And so he can give gifts, but they come at a price, and the price is your soul. And so just be careful, just know what you're working with. And if you're ever unsure, just go back to your own soul, your own self, right? Because outside of these bodies, outside of this one, human experience that we're having right at this moment, we are infinite, eternal beings. And so really, every bit of knowledge, wisdom, understanding can come from our own soul. And we don't truly know the agenda of spirits that want to work through us. So even looking back at some of my recent videos, when I've said use me or this and that, I'm not going to use that language anymore. So I'm going to stand and speak and live in my embodied solar consciousness and trust that that is enough. And I'm super grateful for all of the experiences I've had. And I'm not speaking down to or negatively about anyone that works with spirits, because there are great spirits. I mean, my grandma and my dad, but for me, it's not feeling right now, because there's so much interference, guys. We are at a crucial time. We are at the time that has been talked about right? In these old writings, these old prophecies, these things, because consciousness evolves. And we're at this point in consciousness evolution where more and more of us can be our embodied creator consciousness selves. Okay, and so who would benefit from that and who would not benefit from that? Well, who would benefit is each of us individually, and therefore every soul we come in contact with, right? Because when we are the light of the world, that light naturally radiates out to others, okay? Now, who does not want that to happen? Who does not want that to happen are the handful of puppet masters on world and off world that siphon our divine essence, energy, our source code, because they don't have it. They were not imbued with that, okay, from the Creator. The Creator created us to experience itself. Okay, like think about that. And so if a bunch of us are waking up to the fact that we are a fractal of the divine, of the Most High, that there is nothing else that is more powerful than that, well, that's gonna fuck up their plans real bad, right? Because they need us to be easily manipulated, easily controlled, always reaching and waiting for that promised, like, thing, you know, whatever it is, that's, whether it's in the commercial, like, mass media, or whether it's in the spiritual communities, which many of the spiritual communities are not really communities. And I had a past life, I am 99% sure, as a cult leader. So I have big time karma around that. And so I can recognize it because that's a part of my soul history. And a sure way you can tell is, and I've wondered why I've been guided like all around to like different groups, different this and that. And it's because just that, because I can recognize it. And a surefire way in a lot of these groups that I was in is that I would ask questions, or I would, you know, have an insight that was different than the leaders, and they would just blatantly not answer or change the subject, or, you know, guys, I need to write a book. I have seen it all in these past 7 or 8 years. I think 2016 was the first YouTube video I watched. I don't know. I'm rambling, but the energy has been amazing today, and I hope you guys are feeling it. And if you're not, I hope I can send you some right now from my heart to yours, and remind you that no matter where you are on your path, that you are loved. You are love embodied, actually, and that you're never alone, that anything you're experiencing, if I haven't experienced it, I've experienced something similar, so I can send you that, you know, understanding and love. And if there's ever anything you want me to talk about from my experience, I went through all of this while also going through real life events, you know, like losing my dad, getting married, getting divorced, having my kids. I guess that would be in the wrong order. Married, had kids, divorced, changing careers, actually just leaving a career, and being in poverty and crawling my way out, you know, and having to go back and live with my mother, who was my first wounder, you know, like major, but having, you know, feeling like I had to. And I don't know, I have a lot to share. A lot of times I don't know where to start because I've got so much I want to say and I'm called to say, but it's in so many different areas. Like, I mean, I could also talk about my experiences prior to awakening. I mean, I've worked in so many of the systems that I know I'm here to be a part of dismantling as well and rebuilding. I was a teacher, so I've worked in the education system. I've also been a parent now of children in the system. I have worked in the corporate world in sales, so I saw all that bullshit. I was a licensed mental health counselor, so I have seen our broken mental health system. It's not good. It's really bad. And through that, I worked with insurance companies for my clients, so I've seen that whole mess, and it's not good at all. I don't need to tell any of you guys that. So I'd love to hear feedback, just if there's topics, you know, a spiritual awakening while you're also being a mom, like that's a big one for me. Yeah, like the practical stuff, you know, just like staying grounded when you're having mystical experiences, and trying to be there for your kids, you know, and I don't know. Let me know if anybody made it this far. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to hear more on. I do know a lot about astrology. It's something that comes second nature to me. I imagine that I have some gifts there from a past life, if I had to guess, because when I first looked at a chart, it did not seem foreign at all. So I could talk about that. I don't know, guys. There's a lot. And I still want to use cards because they're fun. Like, I really want to get back to just having fun, you know? Like, we are here to have joy and to have peace. And yes, fucking bad shit happens, like really bad shit. And yes, there are really, unfortunately, dishonest people, and there are manipulative people and narcissistic people and all kinds of things, but like, that's just a fact right now. And maybe one day they'll magically evolve or disappear or whatever, but right now they're not. So I don't know. I want to be of service, and I would just love to hear the best way I can serve. All right. Love you guys. Bye.